Okay, so this is the audio for episode number 8 for group number 2. And we'll start with the introduction from Lisa. Hello everyone. We are the second group and our topic is cars. Although our group size is the smallest in this class, we just have 4 team members, we will introduce a big guy, Henry Ford. He was the most influential American innovator of the 20th century. His automobile forever changed the way we work, where we live, and our ideas about individual freedom and possibilities. Absolutely, Henry Ford was a great person. He did a lot of things to benefit the society, the economy, and common people, which reflected his angelic side. After he became more successful and powerful and had more wealth, his other side emerged. The angel became a devil. Mayara will introduce Angel Ford to you, and Chiho will show you another Ford, the devil. Finally, Bea will do the conclusion. Okay, let's welcome Mayara. Good things about Henry Ford, Mayara. Henry Ford is often associated with the invention of the assembly line. According to Ford, there are 2 principles of assembly. First, place the tools and the men in the sequence of the operation. Second, use conveyor belts so that when a workman applies his operation, he drops the part always in the same place. And, if possible, have gravity carry the part to the next workman. It had immense influence on the world. With these extraordinary, revolutionary, new mass production methods, including large production plants and the use of standardized and interchangeable parts, Ford was able to produce a Model T in 93 minutes. Between 1913 and 1927, Ford factories produced more than 15 million Model Ts, the first car affordable for the majority of Americans. The Model T was offered in many styles, but only one color, black. It was a car with many advantages, but also some flaws. It frequently had to be driven up a steep hill backward. Henry Ford is also known for paying his workers sufficiently large sums so that they could afford the products they were making. In this manner, he could expand the market for his products. At the time, workers received $2.25 per day, for which they worked 9-hour shifts. It was too much for many to bear. Ford's turnover rate was very high. New workers required a costly break-in period. Also, some men simply walked away from the line to quit and look for a job elsewhere. Then, the line stopped, and the increased cost and delayed production kept Ford from selling his cars at the low price he wanted. Drastic measures were necessary, such as raising the wage to $5 a day. Again, drastic measures were necessary, such as raising the wage to $5 a day. But it's not true that the offer was of $5 a day in wages. It was far more complicated than that. The $5 a day rate was about half pay and half bonus. The bonus came with character requirements. A committee would visit the employees' homes to ensure that they were doing things the American way. They were supposed to avoid certain activities such as gambling and drinking. They were to learn English and many immigrants had to attend classes to become Americanized. Women were not eligible for the bonus unless they were single and supporting the family. Also, men were not eligible if their wives worked outside the home. So now Chiho will continue even more less angelic aspects to Ford. Bad things about Henry Ford. Chiho. Market share decreased from 2/3 to 1/5 from 1920 to 1935. And because of that, Henry Ford didn't make a new car model and refused to change the Model T. Even though his management skills were not well developed, he never created a position for executive administration and never entrusted management to others. In addition, his wrongdoing was that he oppressed the labor movement using violence. After Henry's son, Edsel, became the president, however, Henry was the real boss and still controlled the whole company. Edsel died in 1943 at the age of 49, and his death was caused by his stress coming from his father's pressure and the declining business. Henry was a famous racist and anti-Semitic. All right, let's change this, please. Anti-Semitic is an adjective, so he was anti-Semitic, but if you want to make it a noun, which is what you did here, because racist is a noun, then you want to change it to anti-Semite. So, Henry was a famous racist and anti-Semite. He discriminated against Jews and differentiated their wages from other employees. He published The International Jew, which was about Jewish discrimination, blaming them for the economic crisis. After a few years, he published a letter apologizing. Conclusion. Henry Ford has had a tremendous influence on our, let's do that again. Henry Ford has had a tremendous influence on our modern life. He was an entrepreneur. Past tense. He invented the assembly line. Henry Ford has had a tremendous influence on our modern life. He was an entrepreneur. He invented the assembly line that is still used in factories today. And thanks to him, the middle class expanded, and we work 40 hours a week today. But the assembly line makes work monotonous, and workers can feel useless. He also owned a newspaper where he published a famous article against Jews that was used by. So let's do this again. He also owned a newspaper where he published a famous article against Jews that was used by the Nazis in their propaganda. Ford was a kind, smart, and benevolent man who did many Ford was a kind Ford was also a kind, smart, and benevolent man who did many very good things for the society. But when he became successful, he turned into a dark man. His change is a big mystery, but some people believe that he became dark when he didn't change his Model T because it was perfect for him. And at that point, he was frustrated, and he started to write his anti-Semitism theories. The humorist Will Rogers said to him, "It'll take 100 years to know whether you've helped or hurt us, but you certainly didn't leave us where you found us.